Hello, how are you guys? I hope you're doing great. Myself, I'm doing okay. And welcome to Verified So and also to today's discussion. Now, today's video is as a result of two questions that I got from the comments from two people. And therefore, let us discuss on the host, the sponsor, and the documents that you should get from the host or the sponsor. So to begin with, let us know about the sponsor. A sponsor is any person in the United States who has agreed to take all the responsibilities of catering for you in terms of finances. So they have agreed that they will commit some portion of their income or their wealth to cater for your needs as you start life in the United States. And therefore, they must prove to the embassy that they are willing to sponsor you. And they do that by providing documents that we shall discuss later. So that person that agrees to take care of all your needs as you start life in the United States, and that is financially, that is the person that we call the sponsor. And on the other hand, the host simply means someone who has given or provided you with an address. The address that you used in your DS-260, the permanent address, that is the address in the United States. The person that gave you that address is regarded as your host because he or she will be hosting your documents. Remember, once you land in the United States, the green card and the social security number and any other document will be sent to you via that email. So that person offering you that address to host your documents is called the host. Again, the host can be the person that receives you and gives you some accommodation when you land in the United States if you don't have one of your own. The person that receives you and gives you where to stay as you start life, then that is your host. You are a guest to him or her. Now, based on that argument, the sponsor and the host seems to intermarry, but they are totally different. The sponsor supports you in terms of finances, and the host only gives you the address and sometimes may give you a place to stay when you land in the United States. The other point to note is that your host can be your sponsor. And many a times, that's what normally happens. The person hosting you also decides to take care of you in terms of the finances, and therefore he or she becomes your sponsor. So one person can take those two responsibilities, or one responsibility of sponsoring may be taken by another person and the hosting responsibility be taken by a different person. I hope I am clear. Now, coming to understand which documents you're supposed to get and from whom, then the sponsor, the one committing some finances to sponsor you, is the one who is supposed to produce the following documents and give them to you. Because during the interview, you will be required to present these documents as a proof of financial support. And before I proceed, remember as well, you can be your own host as well as your own sponsor. You can sponsor yourself and you can host yourself, maybe by renting an Airbnb or a hotel room, and also having enough savings in your bank that can take you through as you start life in the United States. That one you should know. But in the case that another person takes the responsibilities, then that person who is your sponsor must provide you with the following documents to present as proof of financial support. The first document, of course, and all of you know, is the correctly filled Form I-134. The sponsor has to correctly fill that document and then email it to you for you to print it and sign it before presenting it at the interview. And together with that Form I-134, there are other documents that should accompany it to make it a complete document. The first thing is the tax compliance form. Note this, that for an individual to qualify to sponsor an immigrant, that individual has to have complied with the tax laws. And that is to mean they should have completely filed their returns. They should have paid their taxes. And therefore, tax documents are needed. And if the sponsor is employed in the US, therefore, he will present or she will present the W-2 form to you as the tax compliance form. So he scans that document, sent to you for you to print it. The second thing is that the sponsor has to provide some form of identity, and he or she might give you a copy of the green card if he is an LPR, and that is a green card holder, or a national ID if they are the citizens of the United States. And in that case, either a driver's license or the passport biodata page. So they should provide whichever of those identity documents together with the ones that I've mentioned. And another thing that should not miss is the recent payslips. The recent payslips from the sponsor should be presented to you before you attend the interview. And having outlined all those documents, then you should note this. All those documents must be printed out and be presented as a hard copy. No soft copies. You will not be allowed into the embassy with any phone or any tablet or whichever the gadget. Print them and file them well in hard copy format. Now, when we come to the documents from the host needs not to give you anything or any type of documents. You don't need anything from the host unless your host is your sponsor. If your host is your sponsor, then they should provide you with those financial support documents. But if you have a different host from the sponsor, the host gives you nothing, but the sponsor provides you with all those documents. I have answered two questions in that discussion, and that is about the host and the sponsor, and number two, the documents that you are required. So guys, I hope this video helps you out because I saw two questions on the comment. And if it is helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and let's meet in the next video.